Hey, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hey, pleasure to be here. So, I'm Christoph, that's Patrik, and we are from OPSEC a second ago, for counter-kidnapping training, to cybersecurity. And I brought a real white hat hacker with me today. So, and we later on, after a quick intro and a couple of interesting slides about what happened this year in cybersecurity, we will have a life hack and obviously about the topic how to steal your token. And afterwards, we have obviously the idea of preventing these kind of failures to give you the best practices, the do's and don'ts. And let me quickly introduce myself. So I'm Christoph, co-founder of BlockSize. We're from Frankfurt in infrastructure and blockchain, especially infrastructure and blockchain company from with a dedicated team. We're running, in particular, validator nodes, but not limited to. We focus also on market data and proliferate them on-chain. This is what we do for a living. And you can believe me, in the last 10 years, we had a lot of different cybersecurity-related issues that we dealt with until now successfully. So otherwise, I wouldn't be here, I guess. And yeah, I brought with me Patrik Blue as his code name. Yeah, I'm super excited. Maybe you can have a quick sentence about yourself.
Yeah, as you know, Patrik Marx, I'm a real Liechtensteiner, actually. Not so usual. I love cybersecurity. I'll show you afterwards in my presentation what I'm doing with our club. We are going to the, I call it always, Hacker European Championship.
Perfect. Thanks. Yeah, we'll deep dive directly into the topic. So, sorry, no worries, all good. So we talked about crypto-specific cybersecurity. I told that already. Then we have the life hack, and afterwards the best practices. So what is the expectations for today? 3 things: how to secure your stack, basically how to secure your coins, tokens, whatever you fancy. Understanding of what malicious hackers do, how they intrude your systems and thereby your custody system or your wallets, depending on if you're an enterprise or an individual hodler. And obviously the basic countermeasures, what you can actually do to prevent that. Why is the topic still important? We're talking about cybersecurity since ages for now, isn't it, Patrik? So, but the thing is, it still is a rising and increasingly relevant topic. The Association of Bitcoin says that 87% of companies in the German-speaking area had a hacking attempt actually in the last year. Yeah? And the German, which is the pendant to the German FBI, the Bundeskriminalamt, the BKA, they have a dedicated cyber report, and they say it is increasingly sharply increasing the attacks on especially German-speaking companies, and these attacks, and this is the bottom line here, these attacks are often financially deadly, which means after that you are gone. And this becomes the survival factors, not only for companies but also for individuals, because they are targeting our wallets, they're targeting our custody solutions, and it's not limited to crypto theft, of course, but crypto theft becoming more and more relevant as crypto prices rising and the ecosystem is striving since we are here today at Token Summit in Liechtenstein. And the thing is, and this is what I really want to emphasize with you guys, and sorry for being partly in image here, but it's not a question if there will be hacking attempts. And if you get hacked, there's a question of only when you get hacked. Because there's so many attackers out there, there's so many different kinds of method that are getting, and the colleague said that the AI is getting more and more sophisticated, and it's only a question of when and not if you get into the crosshairs, right? Even if with the super small stack, even if you are like in small and medium enterprise company, there's every third company, for instance, is actually a victim of ransomware attacks, where I don't get into details, maybe in your part, but every third company is not able to work at least for a couple of days or even weeks because of a ransomware attack. And this is crazy. Think about that. Okay, run quickly through the recent crypto hacks in this year. Then we talk about how crypto players get hacked, what is the typical anatomy of a hack, and how to secure your coins afterwards. And what are the major headlines this year? We had a 1.5 billion hack, an exchange hack with the Bybit hack in February, which obviously was not only the largest crypto hack, but one of the largest hacks worldwide, actually. I will deep dive into that in a second, how that happened. Quite interesting. And in comparison to these headlines, hacks like a $250 million, the Cetos hack on a SUI chain, which is a SUI-based DEX, a decentralized exchange, for those of you who are not familiar, it's a $250 million, and it's basically a sub-headline, right? So only 200 to 230 million. Yeah, okay, happens. And there has been a lot of different other hacks along the way, as you can see here. And this is only like like a selection. There has been more hacks to that, accordingly. And one interesting thing that we looked closely as a node operator and also as a validator was certainly the Kiln hack. They had the problem that the third-party API was maliciously manipulated, and thereby an Solana-based withdrawal of 41 million US dollar equivalent had been stolen quite recently in early September. And how that comes. Let's have a quick look at the largest Ethereum transaction that we've seen so far, at least related to a hack. Okay, so that's 401,000 ETH in one transaction. And what happened here, this was the Bybit cold wallet, and it was transferred to not obviously the warm wallet as they intended to, but to a specific Bybit exploit. It is now framed as a Bybit exploiter 1, which was the first attacker wallet or public key in Ethereum that actually were used to withdraw the funds or to drain the funds out of the cold storage of this Bybit exchange. You can imagine this 1.5 billion was around 10%, maybe a bit more of their overall custody setup. Yeah? So this is why also they survived that. The community helped them. They got some funds. They started a huge campaign to get back the funds. But I come to that in a second. So let's quickly ask ourselves how the biggest bank in history actually looked like from the inside. Yeah? If you want to get 1.5 billion out of an exchange like Bybit in this case, you have to do the following. 5 steps are crucial. Obviously, don't do that at home. Yeah, but the core points here, you need to know what is the underlying custody solution. And what they used is Safe Global, which is the Gnosis Safe. Maybe, I think some of you are familiar with the Gnosis Safe. This is a solution quite well known. We actually used it back then as well ourselves. And it's a multi-sig setup. And multi-sig means that you need different signers. In case you're not familiar, you need multiple signers, people signing the transaction. So typically you have a CEO, a CFO, and then CXO, and typically like a 3 out of 5 or even more, who need to sign the transaction and to actually move the funds out of the very secure cold storage setup. And obviously you need to know the setup. And the second thing is you need to identify who are the signers. Yeah, quite crucial. Then comes the tricky part and the fun part in terms of hacking, right? So you have a dedicated, most of the time, JavaScript supply chain attack where you actually corrupt the involved stack. And Patrik is smiling because it's always JavaScript included, not always, but very often. It's the attack vector is huge. Well, there's a generalization, but I think it's partly fair. And then you mask the user interface. What does that mean? You need to fake the UI, the user interface, for the signers, that they actually think they're signing the real transaction, but they are signing a completely different thing. Okay, so how they did that is they very likely via spear phishing. There's no exact details, but experts say it's always about spear phishing. It's most of the time it is a spear phishing attack, starting these kinds of attack. That you have one of the developers and one of the developers with access to the UI, in this case to the Safe Global, former Gnosis Safe Vault, and the multi-sig setup, where you actually proliferate a different user interface, and it looks completely different than what you actually intended to sign. And then they had to wait. They waited until Bybit actually had a large withdrawal, because otherwise the business team would be like, okay, we have huge withdrawal requests here, but our clients didn't request anything to get out of cold storage. So what they did, they timed the cold to the warm wallet transfer and waited for a good timing. And this was actually the time of the transaction where the 401,000 ETH were derouted. And now the interesting part begins in terms of on-chain tracement, because to actually launder 401,000 ETH, it's 1.5 billion. That is the real hard part here. Not the smart hacking part. This was step 3, but the hard part, the hard working part, is actually to launder this money. And they tried, not too stupid actually, they tried to change the vast majority into Bitcoin. Yeah, can you imagine why? But the idea from then, or what they typically use is that they have 3 things. They use bridges, they use cross-chain swaps, and typically also mixers. These types of money laundering methods on-chain are typically called chain hopping, because you want to dilute or want to get the trace lost in certain cross-chain swaps where only centralized provider, often with no KYC requirements, or usually with no KYC requirements, is used to actually get rid of the traces. And yeah, it is. You can look at it. There's an analysis you find online, like several thousands of transactions where you have a huge aftermath of thousands of wallets and transactions included after that to actually launder the money here. And a part of it has been recovered and frozen in USDT, for instance, because as most of you know, I guess, you can freeze these stable coins. And they tried that, but the vast majority, I think, is gone. And yeah, that's how actually the biggest hack, the biggest bank heist in history happened. So, wow. But one thing, one important key takeaway here is that in most of the cases, and to be precise, 60% of the cases, according to this study I found, have something to do with an insider. So it not necessarily need to be a malicious insider. It can be someone who's not well trained or educated, who's playing a crucial role in giving the attackers the relevant attack vector, like it happened in Bybit, of course, right? So it is not only critical to understand yourself regarding topics of crypto analysis or cryptography in particular, and how to have your cybersecurity measures in place. You can be super smart, but if your team is not following the advice, obviously you can be smart as hell. It doesn't help you anything, right? And how does it typically look like? I know from a couple of cases firsthand how a new attack looks like. In former times, you had this support guy from like Ledger or Trezor, any wallet provider, calling you and say, I really need your mnemonic phrase, or I need your private key to do something. This is old school. This happens not that much anymore. It still happens, yes, but how they do that in a professional manner right now is that you get a first contact. It might be social media, might be phone call. There's a lot of spear phishing with phone calls happening, and we've experienced that as well. And they have a lucrative offer for you. It might be a headhunter giving you a very good opportunity if you're a smart developer. For instance, you're a crypto developer and you really want to develop the newest startup, the most fancy decentralized exchange out there. You're probably prone to these kind of headhunters, and often they are real headhunters working for a fake client, right? And so it looks very professional. And then typically, not all of the time, but oftentimes there's a staged interview process. So very professional interview process where you start with a code assessment, the typical task in this process, where you start with downloading a repo and you should evaluate the code, and then you need to, for instance, install some dependencies, and one of the dependencies is an NPM package. Patrik is smiling again because it's JavaScript stack again. And then comes the interesting part. Most of the people understand, okay, I need to check this repo before I have these dependencies installed. What they most of the time don't think is that you don't need even to access or execute the NPM package. It's sufficient if you just install it, and there's, for instance, so-called eval blocks. It's pun intended, eval blocks, right? That give you access to any specific containing assets, could be images, icons, etc., that contain self-executed code. And you have code run on your machine. And if by chance that is not a virtual machine or private, unimportant Unix VM or any private, unimportant computer, but is instead your computer with, for instance, your MetaMask wallet, or maybe your work computer with critical private keys on it, well, then it could be a problem. But for instance, let's assume you have your work computer with or your private computer with some dedicated real funds on that and have MetaMask installed. They now, here after step 3, where they now have likely your sessions, session cookies, and you now also have, for instance, all that contained in your browser. Okay, so they uploaded your Chrome metadata, and including your MetaMask. Which they don't have is they have not the password to decrypt the relevant information. For instance, decrypt the MetaMask wallet in this case. Now comes the interesting, tricky part. Then you get called quite either late in the evening or under time pressure to have an assessment center with a coding interview because you were selected, you're close to getting the job, right? And then you need to perform tasks. And one of the tasks, after easy task, you feel comfortable and you're obviously in a rush to fulfill everything. Well, then you have to open a web page, for instance. It's real stuff. I don't make it up. This happens one-to-one all the time, okay? And then you have to open a web page with something that requires, for instance, Wallet Connect, or looks like a MetaMask. It's a phishing website, obviously, but you don't know that since you're in a rush. I think, obviously it's a DEX project. We all think we never would have our password in a foreign website, but it's a browser plugin. As you know, MetaMask is a browser plugin. It sometimes asks you about your MetaMask password, right? And if the website looks like that and you're in a hurry, obviously people figure out and to enter actually their MetaMask password. So if you're not cautious, the Wallet Connect or MetaMask website, for instance, it's not about MetaMask per se. It's about all these kinds of wallets, and it's not limited to browser extension wallets. But in this case, they have the password and they can decrypt that. So this, again, malicious JavaScript obviously will steal your MetaMask password. They will proliferate that to the attackers, and then will decrypt the relevant browser the browser extension to actually access your funds. And then step 6, it's gone. Yeah, it takes like minutes, and then the money laundering thing starts again. They have the chain hopping, and they typically try to convert that immediately in USDT or similar, and to get that across several chains or bridges or whatever they can. There's a lot of KYC-free bridges that can be used for that, and they actually do that. Keep in mind, 91% of these types of attacks are enabled by a spear phishing attack that you are very precisely, hence the name, very individually spear phished with your name, with your user ID, with family details, with mobile phone numbers, which they bought on the internet by one of the Coinbase or Binance hacks. and there has been, the dark web is full of our user data. We're not aware of it. So you can assemble easy and spear phishing attack, 100% dedicated for you or you or you, for all of us. Okay. So always keep that in mind, and yeah, save your stack, invest time in security, get yourself educated, get your team educated. It's the weakest link. Okay. It's not you being smart. I know that. It's your team, whole of your team, and everyone in your team. It could be the intern who recently gained access. Okay, keep that in mind. And having that said, I would like to, open the stage to you, Patrik, and with the live hacking session. So,
thank you. So let's have a start. Oops. It's not intent. So how to steal a token? There's the sorry.
I tried to hide your last name, but you're putting that prominently on the slide. It's like a real hacker.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
OPSEC.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, how to steal your token. Thank you for having me here. My name is Patrik. I'm from the Cybersecurity Association. Quick about what I'm talking about today. It's about me, quick, then the Cybersecurity Liechtenstein Club itself, then stealing the password and token, and then some tips. I hope the life hack, stealing the password, will work, but I'm pretty sure. So, about myself, my name, Blue. Don't ask me why, it's a carnival thing, Guckermusik, and as well, ask me afterwards, please. Around 40. I made 20 years ago an apprenticeship as a Geräteinformatiker. Yeah, it was one of the first apprenticeship that was created here, that region. I'm father of 4 children, various age, so 3, 7, 10, 18, so I have another challenge at home myself privately. And yes, I'm the president of Cybersecurity Liechtenstein. And I like challenges. That's why I'm like also cybersecurity, because it's to think about around the corner and to think about what could the developer have missing or not think about that. Good. Cybersecurity Liechtenstein itself. Who we are. We are a group of IT security experts who work in different companies across Liechtenstein here. Our goal is support and inspire young talents in IT security. I will come afterwards what it means. Raise awareness, responsibly in cybersecurity, what I'm doing here as well, as awareness. Hosting events, meetups for the community. Yes, I know we are a small country, a small region, and I hope we can be more together, but I think the people that are here, they are very interested, and they're also very by heart here. And we would like also to build strong connections and collaboration, because we need each other at the end. It's cybersecurity is so important, I think, so we need connections and we need help from each other. And what we are doing is also, we are going every year to the European Cybersecurity Challenges. It's kind of a thing, I say always, hacker European Championship. And we was already in Düsseldorf, Malaga, you see it, Vienna. 2 weeks ago we was in Poland, Warsaw. That was cool. Sorry. You see here some pictures. That's a team of 10 persons that we are teaching before we go to the competition. The age is limited to 25. Yes, I'm too old, 3 days, unfortunately. You see it on my gray hair. No, it's a fun part, and we would like to give the young people a playground where they can use all the tools without doing some illegal stuff. Because having the tools is not so illegal, but to use on certain system we are gonna be in the illegal stuff. And you here see the team. It's cool. There are 34 countries participating. 2 weeks ago, yes, we lost place, but it's always a cool stuff. It's an adventure. It's you have to be there and to feel it. Unfortunately, I can't. I would like also to do some CTF and to play the game, but it's so boring actually, just to help the young people. But it's cool. Our youngest one was this year 13, become 14 so in December. Yes, wow. Yeah, that's very young. And we're just 9 people, so that was cool stuff. Here you see the venue. All the people, they're doing the CTF, the capture the flag, so all the people get the same challenge to solve it, and who is the best, who is the fastest, and then there's a next part as well, attack and defense. That's a cool one. That's my favorite one actually, because you have certain systems on your own VM, and you have to bring it up, and there are some kind of bugs in it. You have to find them, and then you have to attack the other teams. So that's the cool part. So you have to read attack and defense. Who is faster in finding, in patching, and in attacking? So the team has to really to work together. That's the cool stuff. Yeah. Thanks to our sponsors. Yes, I have to do a bit. Because it's Amt für Informatik who's partner. Then we have the SCW, the Liechtensteinische Bankenverband is gold sponsor. Thomas Negele also. Thomas, are you here? Thank you. And Grant Thornton. Now, because everything is paid, and we looked at the young people everything is organized. And normally I'm not wearing like
shirt.
Yeah, sure. I have more a hoodie like you and a t-shirt. And you see we have the sponsors also behind our back, and there's a lot of places or space open. So if you would like to be a sponsor, you're welcome. So, I forgot. We have also, every year, is also a hardware challenge involved. This one is a very cool thing, because we have here a keypad with some numbers, and there was the Tresor actually. Yeah. The idea was to crack it. Okay, and you have three times you can try, then he has locked, then you have to plug it out and plug it in again. So what could we do else? We have here some pins. Sorry, this bit's a little bit small. But at the end, you can plug in an Arduino or a Raspberry, and then you have control over the keypad. So we can do a brute force, so try every number. But the thing was, after 3 attempts, you are locked. So you have to plug it out, plug it in. And there was a bug, because you can reset the count of how many times you have tried. So the teams was able to find the bug, and after 30 seconds they found it. So that was the thing, to look around the corner, what could be happen, and is it possible to reset the counter? I have it here, so if you would like to see it later, it's a cool stuff. Yeah. So now enough from the club. Let's start it. By token, coming in a few minutes while, passwords. A password, in my opinion, is just one factor, and it's simple, and it's always the same. What I mean with simple, we have just some characters, numbers, special characters, and that's it. It's nothing change. And we have always also the same passwords on that cloud service and here and there, because we are lazy. Yeah. We are human. I'm also, yes. So we need to do something better. So they invented the JSON Web Token. It was published in 2015, and the characteristics is it's compact. You will see what it means, and it's time limited. It can be expired, the token. So when I can steal it from something else, from somewhere, I don't know, maybe they pushed it, unfortunately, to GitHub or whatever. Microsoft has also a case. They pushed, unfortunately, their token to GitHub, and I don't know, some other station has then access to, I don't know how many tenants. And it's digital signed, and it's self-contained. Self-contained, as he explained later. And it's a cool thing. Especially it's digital signed. And how does it work? Normally, when we authenticate to a web server, we just have, when the web server is here, always the password goes to the server, and we come back, and everything is stateless. So when I'm just going away, when I'm buying, for example, by Digitech something in the shop, I have a cookie, and an hour later I'm always logged in. So, but it always goes to the server. So what we are doing is now we're creating the token. And what we're doing is we are going to a special authentication server that's just doing authentication. He is protecting authentication. He's doing one thing, do it well. Point. You know the phrase from Unix philosophy? Do one thing, do it well.
Yeah.
So the user authenticates to the server. We get our token. You will see how it looks like. And then the next server, protected REST endpoint, for example, verifies it and know, okay, he's signed. So how a JV looks like. Yeah, we see nothing actually. I have here a good website, and you see how that token looks like. We have a header, what it is, and the payload actually. So, and here we have what I'm able to do, what I'm allowed to do, what's my role actually. Oh, sorry. You don't see that? No, sorry. It's been better. We have here the token. Yes, now it looks like a bit strange, but the key part is we have here, it's the signing part on the bottom. And when I also have that JVT token, I can maybe here manipulate him, but with the signing, it doesn't work anymore. So it's useless at the end. If the server also checks the signing, because in the past the developer was too lazy and says, yeah, it works. Why should I check the certification, the signing stuff? And yes, and here we go. We have another hole. So, sorry. So that's what the JVT looks like, just in a briefcase. So let's see the token. When I was preparing the presentation, I first asked ChatGPT, create me a phishing web page. Oh, it worked very well, I have to say. Actually, I thought they have some rules actually that they're not allowed, but in my case, it works. I was very surprised how well it worked. The first suggestion was, oh, it was very good. But then I found a tool. I never heard about that. And that's awesome, actually. That's really awesome. Evening Jigs. And when you go to the web page, when you see it stands about standalone man in the middle tech framework to use a phishing login. As a framework who is providing us a phishing login website, along with cookies allowing for bypass also for two-factor authentication. So I was a bit like, okay, does it read? It's okay. I can read everything. I can write everything here, but do it really what it does? So I tried. So what you see here is I have here Contabo, I have here VPS, quick and dirty, it's Ubuntu, and I install it. And what I'm doing is here I just run my the evening chicks binary, and I have to say where the fishlets are, because fishlets are the configuration which site we would like to fake. And I enter. It starts. And what the tool also does is he creates for me all the HTTPS certification and everything. I have to do nothing. Oh, can you see it? It's okay. Sorry. So And yes, I already created, because it takes too much time, but I created a MS365 fishlet, enabled it, and I created as well of course, a nice URL. It's the login token summit hacking.li. And when I'm going to, where is my edge? Here we go. And I need to do it in private modus, because otherwise it could be, yeah, you know, with cookies and then caching and everything, it's, yeah, it's messy up a bit. And what I have here, a Microsoft 365 login page. That's cool. But check out the URL. It's login, token submit, hacking.li. Awesome. And when we go back to the console, we see also, someone is logging in here. Okay, let's log in, try. Oh, I'm not allowed. That's nice. Here we go. To Hotmail, interesting. That's not the part, sorry. That's actually the demo effect. Here we go. I'm using here now a password, because it must be very super sicher password 1, you know. It's always very easy. Login. Now comes the 2-factor. Let's have a check. Here's my phone. And yeah, what I'm doing, I have here the Microsoft 2-factor authenticator, and I say, yes, approve. I give my fingerprint. And, oh, here we go. We are on. Yes, we are blah, 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 because I made the account already just a few days. And yes, I'm in actually. And what we see behind, oh, a lot of stuff here. And when I do here sessions, I see we have another session. Yes, the session ID 8, I was just trying to look, does it really work? And when I do now, going closer to the ID session number 9, I see the token, I see everything. And I hope it works. I can now copy everything here. And then let's start Firefox. And also going Cognito. It's a bit better. No. And I have here office.com. So actually I should sign in. I don't can, but I have here a cookie editor where I can just manipulate all my cookies. Cookies are values for the website. For every time when I go to a web page, then he will send some information about me, who I am, and everything, and also the token. And let's check. I can import. And then when we, okay. Yeah, that was a thought. Yeah. The bad thing is, Microsoft changed something, or Fishlet changed something, and yeah, it doesn't work. But on the weekend, believe me, it worked. I can log in without anything. And the JVT token can I also use for API calls. So it's awesome, actually.
And you received the password, actually.
You saw it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good eye.
Yeah, the console, right?
Yeah. When I'm looking for the sessions, sorry, then you see, I also see my super sicher password 1. And that was not very hard to bring it up. I can't do it in 30 minutes. So it was, yes, come on, how cool is that? Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
And this works also with the 2-factor?
Yes. Oh, sorry, the microphone, please.
You type the 2-factor. With this, it works as well.
That's right. The thing is, when you are on my phishing side, when you are on my phishing proxy side, actually, I'm just repeating in what from Microsoft came to you. and you're logging in, and you saw it. I just press yes, I would like to log in, and then I was in.
Then the two-factor is not working.
No. In that case, no, it doesn't work.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
That's the point. Or everyone is talking about, hey, we need two-factor and whatever. But hey, come on, a phishing site, a good phishing site. What Christoph said, a spare phishing site is also so good. And here I have an open source tool. It makes.
What could you do?
That's at the end. But thank you for the question. I hope it is interesting. Yes. And what else can we do? Okay, when we have the JVDA token, we can do some API calls. API is for computer-to-computer language, actually. We can say, hey, I would like to read some mails, I would like to read whatever. And I can do everything automated. That's so cool. You saw, at the moment I have the token, I can do everything like in a pipeline when we are developing or whatever. It's just tasks, and it's not so complicated in my eye. So, evil jinx, cool ones. As I said, even 2FA was enabled. I was enabled to steal it, and it took me just 30 minutes, as I said, to up and running the Linux machine, and it's a YouTube video also on the page how you have to install it, and you find even more on YouTube or whatever, a step-by-step task to do, how to install, what you have to look and everything. I have to try once, I think, with our government. Okay. Maybe I can fish them. Maybe I have to try, but I have to ask first. And yes, it's easy to make for every website. And what I have here is a link to GitHub, where fishlets, so already prepared for other websites. So I have AWS, I have Citrix, I have Dropbox, I have, you name it, you see, and it's everything on GitHub for free. So you don't need to do it by yourself. Maybe they are a little bit old, they're now 5 or 3 years old. Maybe we have to change some URL or some other stuff, maybe with JavaScript, yes. But we have a good base where we can work on it, and it's cool. Actually, I love it. And the Pro Edition can even more, but it costs. Maybe there's another sponsor here would like to. I would like to use it once. Okay, so now the fun part. Actually, your question is, what can we against do it? At the end, we need. Where is it? I have here some here. Hardware tokens. For example, I have a YubiKey, but there are some other ones. There are solo keys, Nitro key, or whatever. And what the thing is doing is you have to plug it in, and we have the private public key authentication. So the web service is asking us about, hey, give me your, get me a challenge, and just with my private key I can do the math to solve the challenge actually. So they're not that expensive, but I can really recommend them for certain parts. They're very cool. This one has also NFC, so I can use it also with my mobile phone. That's cool. The bad thing is you have to always to keep it with you, otherwise you can't log in. It's always security, and it's not always so easy, and I'm gonna say, yeah, you have to keep it with you, otherwise yeah, you can't log in. That's the part. But there's also pass keys with a password manager. That's the new coming up technology actually. It's the same, just with a password manager. You can use it. And here we have also the same. So we have a private and public key, and then you can log in to a certain website, and I can really recommend it. I recommend you also more online password manager, because when I have this one just in your company internally, and you need some password on your mobile phone. What are you doing? You will send it because yes, no one would like to write it down. Very complex 20-character password with I don't know. So what you're doing, you will copy the password from your manager internally to Teams, to yourself. Yes, you know what I mean, no?
Okay, so
Happens.
It happens. Yeah, I know, too many times. So that's what I'm very interested in. There are many password manager outside where are very good, and also for personal use, you can have it for free. When you have a family like me, or what I'm doing, I'm hosting my password manager myself, and yeah, it syncs the password across all the devices, so we don't have to remember or to find where it is. Desktop, mobile, browser, everything. Yes, my wife was first a bit against, but now she loves it because I'm making passwords with 20 characters and everything. Maybe why we need for each web service another account. Do you maybe have heard Have I Been Pawned? Do you know Have I Been Pawned?
Yeah.
The thing is, we have so many web services outside, and maybe they have some data leaks. So some data from us are outside in the dark web or something else. So when we have, for example, LinkedIn has a data leakage, I have a LinkedIn profile. My mail address actually know you because it's, Google me and you find my mail address, so that's my username. So, and when I have the data leak and the password is also outside, of course they have to decrypt a bit because it's a hash, but it's makeable actually at the end. But when I have on LinkedIn, on Xing, on Facebook, or whatever, the same password, so when one of these leaks has that password, so they can log in to the other pages actually it's the same. Because we are human, we are lazy, so that's the reason why. And here you can, what they are doing is they are collecting the kind of leaks, and you can search for your mail address. And then they will tell you, hey, is your mail address in somewhere in a leak? And you see Apollo, for example. That's actually I have some other mail addresses, and you see I have then 10 times web services come out. I think I meet the guy who is responsible for that service actually, and he is he makes a good job. Please use it. Password manager also. When you pay a bit, they go also to look, okay, is your account be pawned or not? So then you get a notification, hey, please update your password actually. So I really recommend you just have a look what's happened here. Then another very important topic, I think so, is backup. Do you have a backup? Please make a backup. Do you remember when was the last test of your backup? Why do I come with that? Because of the cloud. I think you have already read the service agreement, for example, Microsoft, I don't know how many pages, because service availability, section 6b, I think you remember all, right?
Well, everything.
Oh, sorry. Because when you go up to the section 6b, they say when Microsoft has a trouble or is whatever it's not liable, any disruption or loss you may suffer as a result. So you have to look at your data, at your backup. You can do a backup on the cloud, of course, but you have to do it by yourself. So please do it. We know with ransomware and everything, it's a mess. If you have your ransomware, your business, everything is just down for a couple of weeks, months, whatever. I know some business they have the kind of work, they are not anymore here because everything, the tasks was the business couldn't be running up again. it takes too long, so please make backup. I know it costs, but yes. Yeah, that's actually my presentation. One last thing, what I have here, is maybe you know the lockpicking lawyer. It's a cool one. Yeah, I saw it. He's doing some lockpicking. That's also part of cybersecurity and CTF and our hacking challenge. And he's trying to pick the lock to how easy could it be to break the lock. If you would like, I have here also a transparent lock. Come afterwards to me, and I have here some tools, and you can try it by yourself when you want. And we don't have sound, but it's cool what he's telling. He has this lock actually from Ben and Jerry. What you can do is you can protect your Ben and Jerry ice cream. That's cool. So what he's doing, he would like to challenge his wife to say, okay, we have here Ben and Jerry, his favorite actually, and what he's doing, he's locking up the ice cream. And he would like to, that his wife try to solve the puzzle, and yes, let's do it, and how easy it is, because that's just 3 numbers to guess, and it's very easy actually. But the coolest part is next day, what's happened? Just open the button, cut it off, and she has an ice cream. So at the end, it's the weakest thing is always that part that we can break in. You have to look at once to the video. It makes it very funny. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and when you have some questions.
Very good. I like it. And for questions, get your microphone first, please. Otherwise, we won't hear you guys.
Sure, thanks a lot. Regarding the hardware token, I mean, before you did a man-in-the-middle attack with a proxy, wouldn't that be exactly the same attack also with a hardware token, that you forward everything on both sides and you could still hijack the session and use the cookies and you're in?
Good question. I never tried. I have to try it once. But at the end, with the hardware token, I just send my public key. So no, it should not be possible, because the challenge that I'm getting back can just solve by my hardware token. So that's the idea behind. So whatever you steal, I don't care at the end. Some other questions? Happy to lock picking here. I have also some Ruby cubes. I love challenges. Yep. So,
gentlemen, thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
Very insightful.
Very welcome.
You're welcome, yeah.